Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Best You Challenge. And hopefully yesterday you wrote down the different aspects of your life that you'd like to work on during this journey. And today we're going to build on that. So in order to change behaviors and improve upon things, we have to become mindful about what we're currently doing so that we can actually become aware of when we need to course correct or make changes in our behaviors or our belief systems in order to make these improvements to become our best version self. So today's challenge is becoming more mindful. Mindfulness is not just meditating and doing yoga, as many people think it is, but mindfulness, I like to explain to people, is like learning how to see yourself outside of yourself. So almost like you're like looking down on your life, watching a movie playing out. And you are the writer, director, and producer of this movie. And so you can change the script, change the direction on stage, change it any way you like at any time. If you can't change everything, you can at least change your perspective. So when we become more mindful, we can start to audit our lives more regularly on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis of what we're doing that's working for us and what we're doing that's not necessarily helping us grow and evolve. And so when we become aware of our power in mindfulness, this auditing system, which I'll share with you in just a few minutes, helps us really hone in on where we should spend our free time, who we should spend our free time with, the things that we should be eating and the thoughts we should be thinking and all the aspects of our lives that we sometimes just go in autopilot on and not really reflect upon. But the reason is most people go through life just kind of going, right? Just flying by the seat of our pants and hoping everything works out. I call this the adult pinata syndrome, where it's like when you're a kid and you're playing that pinata game, you get blindfolded and you have a bat, you start swinging to hit that pinata. And hopefully you don't hit anybody as you're swinging to get the big prize, which is usually all that candy. And that's kind of how people go through life, blindfolded, which is unaware, maybe lacking consciousness, not on purpose, but just because they weren't taught how to be more conscious, and swinging this bat to win the prize and hoping they don't hit or hurt anyone along the way. But unfortunately, most people do. Again, not necessarily on purpose, but a lot of people go through life that way just because they don't know what they don't know. And so my mission is always trying to up-level consciousness so people are more aware of what they're doing so that they're not hitting or hurting people, including themselves, along the way. So as we want to become more mindful, we start to evaluate our lives more consistently. And so to simplify this, after all these years of teaching mindfulness and human potential, I've created what I call an auditing system that people can go through every day. It's just a simple checklist of the most basic things to be mindful of so that we can start to catch ourselves when we're going down maybe a negative thought path. So the first thing, speaking of thoughts, that you want to become more mindful of is the thoughts that you're thinking. Are you thinking predominantly high quality thoughts? Are you thinking negative, worrisome, self-sabotaging thoughts? We have over 70,000 thoughts a day. Most people spend the majority of their time thinking the same thoughts over and over and over again. And usually, unfortunately, they're not high quality thoughts. So what are high quality thoughts? High quality thoughts are thoughts that are positive, they're productive, they're uplifting, they're making us feel good, they're making us evolve more. But the problem is most people are thinking the repetitive, worrisome thoughts, thinking thoughts about an argument they got in 10 years ago and what they should have done and what they should have said, or they're thinking negative thoughts, thinking thoughts that are negative about themselves or negative about situations or others. And so we really need to become mindful of having more high quality thoughts because your thoughts truly create your reality. So if you're having more high quality thoughts, you're having more high quality reality. The next thing is you want to become mindful of the words that you're choosing. Are you choosing high quality, productive words that assist and support your thoughts? Or are you using more words that are hindering your growth or teaching the world or showing the world subconsciously what you're thinking? So for example, when people say to me, I'll try to make your event, I know they're not coming to the event. I just check them off the list that they're not coming because the I'll try shows me, consciously or subconsciously, that they are not committed to doing that. And so when we use certain words, we're showing people externally what we're thinking, consciously or subconsciously. And we also can start to evaluate our own subconscious mind a little bit more clearly. Another example is if I'm launching a new business and I said, well, I hope that it's successful. I'm subconsciously not believing in my ability to be successful. I'm maybe not believing in my idea. I'm not believing necessarily my worthiness around that idea. And if I hear or catch myself in that I hope, I can course correct and say when this is successful, or I can't wait to celebrate as we become successful with this. So using those words really help us uplift how we're behaving and what our beliefs are. We want to become more mindful of our beliefs. Now, this is like an 8-hour course in and of itself, but I'm just going to touch on this quickly and we'll talk more about this throughout the challenge. But our beliefs truly dictate our behaviors, which then dictate our outcomes. Most people want to just skip over evaluating their beliefs, change their behaviors, and hope for a different outcome, or even crazier, just hope that they get a different outcome without even changing their behaviors. And the reality is, whatever outcome you have going on in your life right now, or outcomes that you have going on in your life that you don't like, there is a belief system or belief systems attached to it that has to change in order for your outcomes to change. It's the reason why most people go to the gym, January 1st, January 2nd, every year, it's their year. They're going to change their behaviors and they're going to make it to the gym. But the reality is they default back to where they were because they never changed their beliefs around maybe exercise, around eating healthy. And so they use willpower to try to force their changed behaviors to change their outcomes. And the truth is, we need to consistently be evaluating our beliefs, which then dictate how we behave, or our habits, which then dictate our outcomes. But as I said earlier, you can work backwards in this by evaluating what outcomes you have in your life that you don't like, and then figuring out what those beliefs are that are attached to it, whether it's around finances and money and success, whether it's around relationships, whether it's around health and well-being. You know, so many people have beliefs once they turn a certain age, they act old. Their bodies are falling apart. And I always laugh when I hear people say, oh, I'm getting old. And I always will say, well, if you keep saying that, your body's going to age more quickly. So what are the beliefs that are holding you back from achieving more? Again, people will say, well, Jen, if I knew those beliefs, then I would change them so I could change my outcomes. So we have to become more mindful of evaluating those outcomes that we have that we don't like, or if we find ourselves repeating a pattern we don't like. I always call it the syndrome where you date the same person with just a different name and a different face. You're repeating the same pattern. You just keep changing the person, hoping the outcome is going to change. Or you keep changing the job, hoping the outcome is going to change. But the limitation is actually lying within ourselves. That has to change. And then the behaviors and the outcomes change. Another thing to become mindful about are the foods that we're eating. Look, what we're putting into our bodies are going to affect how we feel, how we navigate the world, whether we have good energy, mental clarity. Your physiological state can optimize or hinder your mental and emotional state. So becoming more mindful of how we're treating our bodies is going to help us become a better version of ourselves. Another thing to become mindful is the people you're surrounding yourself with. Are they people that are lifting you up, or are they people that are holding you down? Are they people that are supporting your dreams, or are they people that are constantly trying to sabotage them? because they don't have your best interest at heart. So that is always something to be evaluating, or who are we spending our time with and how are they affecting our growth and how we feel? Again, this could be another 8-hour lecture, but the one thing I want to address in just this mindfulness segment for now is start to detox the drainers in your life and increase the enhancers. The drainers could be the people that you're surrounding yourself with, or it could be the foods that you're eating, or the thoughts that you're thinking, or how you're spending your free time. Detox the drainers in your life and increase the enhancers. Try to find people who are going to uplift you, support you, encourage you. Still be honest with you, but genuinely have your best interests, your desire to grow, and support you in that growth. And one other big aspect is, how are you spending your free time? So I love to travel and I love to have fun and I love to go to concerts and sporting events. And those activities are quality activities that I choose to use as my entertainment, use as something to rejuvenate me in my free time. But often we have habits or we choose things to do in our free time that don't support our goals. For example, I will have people say to me all the time they want to start a business. They just don't have time to start a business. And when I ask them, what are you doing in your free time? We start to evaluate or audit what they're doing in their daily lives. I find out sometimes they're watching mindless television, 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week. That's not even the weekend. So it's 15 hours a week that they're wasting time that's not supporting their goal. So doesn't mean they can never watch TV. It means that maybe they minimize it. Maybe it's 1 hour a night. Maybe it's 30 minutes a night. Maybe it's no nights during the week and only on the weekends at a certain time, a certain period of time. But it's about prioritizing our choices and making better choices of what we're doing in our free time to support our goals. Same with the example I used earlier with getting in better shape and having better health. When people say, I don't have time to work out, I don't have time to make it to the gym. And then I evaluate their time and they're doing things that don't support their goals of better health and maybe weight loss or having better energy and mental clarity. And so we need to become mindful of what we're doing on a daily basis and auditing those things. And we don't need to make these massive life adjustments overnight. It could simply be, I'm going to adjust the people that I'm surrounding with first, or I'm going to focus just on the thoughts that I'm thinking and make sure that I'm thinking high quality thoughts. We don't have to do everything overnight, but being aware of these different aspects of our lives and how the choices that we're making are keeping us from maximizing our potential and keeping us from being the best version selves that we can be is really the most fundamental foundation stage in building our best version selves. It's like building a house on a solid foundation. As we're more mindful, we're building a more solid foundation in our homes so that as we start to build on our homes, we can not worry about the bottom falling out on us. We can not have to worry about a storm coming, a life storm. They happen all the time. And worrying about falling apart during that storm because our foundation is solid enough to withstand these storms or obstacles that happen in our lives. So today our challenge is to become more mindful and create that list that I share with you, that auditing checklist. And every day go through it and ask yourself, am I being mindful of the quality of my thoughts or the words that I'm choosing? Am I being mindful of the people that I'm surrounding myself with? And are there people that I need to distance myself with in order to become a better version of myself? And how am I treating my body? Am I optimizing my physiological state by eating the right foods and getting quality sleep and hydrating and taking supplements and exercising? Or am I sabotaging myself consistently, having these goals, but still making choices that sabotage my ability to reach those goals? And what am I doing in my free time? Is it something that's supporting what I desire from my life to become the best version of myself? Write this in that journal, share it with other people. And as you're on this journey of the 30-day challenge, I want to remind you all that when you grow with people in your lives, your relationships grow closer together. So if you're finding you're liking the content yesterday and today, and you feel that there's people in your lives that can benefit from it, please share it with them, because it truly can become something that deepens your conversations and can deepen your relationship overall. Thanks. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.